Now, listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great. This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
It's time for Mac's World. And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
Hey, welcome back to Mac's World Live. Hour 1 is in the can. On to Hour 2. Frank, you said we had a couple texts come in at the end of the hour last hour.
Oh, I read the one, and one was just a follow-up text that we had from last week.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. So we'll ignore those.
Well, let's get that text number out. That is the Truth Tech talk line from Service Legends. That's 515-809-0993, and it's brought to us by First Call Bail Bonds. Dan wants to remind us not to text and drive.
Great. Have you used their services?
No.
Okay. All right. Hey,
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah,
not yet.
I have not had
the day is young. The day is young.
No doubt, there may be a day.
Big Dan, give Frank a call.
Anyway, hey, you may notice if you're just tuning in that this is not Mac McCoy. This is Shane Vanderhurt. We got Brian Myers, of course, Frank.
Faultless Frank.
Yeah. So anyway, we want to talk about the transition that Donald Trump is having, and if any of you have read CaffeinatedThoughts.com and have listened to Caffeinated Thoughts Radio, heard on this station at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Saturdays.
Shameless plug there.
Shameless plug. You may realize, you probably do know that, and I've been on this program talking about this as well, that I was a never Trumper. In the primary, I was a never Trumper. In the general election, I was also never Clinton too. I voted third party, but I made this pledge that as Trump, won, he's my president too. Even though I didn't vote for him, I'm going to pray for him and support him where I can. So I've tried to find ways in which I could praise the things that he's done, and I think he's done a number of good things in the transition. But
I don't think there's any doubt that there has been some good things come out of this so far.
I would have to be hyper partisan to not be able to praise him in some form or fashion. He's done a number of good things, but also I'm maintaining my right to speak truth to power and to criticize when I see he's making decisions that are not good for our nation.
Isn't the best thing, though, that Hillary Rodham Clinton isn't going to be sworn in on January the 20th?
And
no question.
I was very clear to add the day after, I am not disappointed at all that Hillary Clinton lost. I was very happy about that. But
let's talk about Trump's list of appointees so far. I think that'd be a good place for us to start.
Yeah. Just looking at Politico, they have a running list right now. Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus. What do you guys think about him? The current RNC chairman, who's obviously going to be replaced. What's your thoughts about him as Chief of Staff?
Well, first of all, he's obviously a very capable guy, very, very organized, very disciplined. You don't do what he did
right
without having those that skill set.
Even though being a chief of staff of the White House is definitely greater in scope as far as responsibility
than
a political party.
Could be, but
because he's kind of number two to the president. I mean, everybody runs through him.
He's a gatekeeper, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to affect policy more so than somebody else.
Well, yeah, and
he's a gatekeeper.
And Donald Trump did something interesting. I mean, he kind of split the role. You got kind of Steve Bannon is the chief strategist, who's kind of as they communicated when the press release came out, these guys are going to be co-equal.
Well, it could be, but
one's focusing on personnel and the other one on policy, I think.
Yeah, I think a chief of staff is largely an administrative role. I really do. So I think a guy like Priebus, who's proved he has those strengths, is a good call for Trump. And here's the other thing: Trump, you knew this was going to happen. Trump is a guy that's very much interested in loyalty, and
Yes.
Priebus was loyal.
Well, that is correct, but I think there's also an opposing point of view there that he's bringing in the people that was loyal to him. But I think, they talk about have your friends close and your enemies closer.
Sure.
I think there was an outreach to someone like Romney, Carly Fiorina, and whatever, to have those people not trying to torpedo the electoral.
No, I
system.
understand that, Frank, but this is a key position. Chief of staff is a huge position.
Yeah, you got to have somebody who's going to be loyal to you in that position.
This was a no-brainer.
Now, two quick things that I've heard on the media, and see what you guys think. The idea that Trump has kind of got competing interests going on in the White House, like dueling banjo sides going on in the White House. And, also putting forth the idea, I'm losing my train of thought on that one, but go with the first one. Do you think there's competing interests?
You definitely have some people that represent more establishment type folks, and then you got some that were part of the grassroots effort that helped get Trump elected, like Steve Bannon. So definitely, I definitely see a difference between Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon. I think you can have definitely two different perspectives.
But
there.
every administration has some level of that in place.
Right. I think it's important.
It's a good thing to do.
I think it's important to have multiple perspectives.
Absolutely. I agree.
And this, losing my train of thought again, but the second thing was that the media is kind of putting forth this narrative that they need to quit covering Trump the traditional way and having access to these people, because these people that are coming out like Kellyanne Conway, Steve Bannon, et cetera, Trump does what Trump wants to do, and they're saying that it's kind of a waste of time to have this access to Kellyanne and some of these different ones, because they may not be up to current pace what Trump is really going to do. So they're saying to disregard those interviews and don't worry about that access.
I'm not.
Well, good luck with that. What are they going to talk about? Seriously, what the media is already apoplectic at the fact that they can no longer control the narrative.
That's because he doesn't need the pen. He just needs the phone and Twitter. And he's going totally around them, and it's making them look absolutely irrelevant.
Though I think, and unfortunately, the press did themselves a disservice, and they can blame no one but themselves for this. They made themselves irrelevant because of the way they've covered politics in the past. There's been a disparity in how they've handled Republican administrations versus Democratic administrations. If they truly wanted to be an independent fourth estate, they needed to act that way.
Yeah, we haven't had a fourth estate in 40 years or more.
I mean, I think it's important that
Maybe 50.
I think it's important that we do have a fourth estate media that does hold the president accountable, but they have to do it for both parties. They can't just do it for the party they disagree with.
But it's the people is the media now. Anybody that potentially has a cell phone.
Right. Well,
we're speaking of the mainstream.
I understand what you're saying,
and yeah, people can go to Twitter, but you still don't have the platform that mainstream media has.
All right, guys, we got to move on. Let me bring up my favorite one on this list. EPA, Scott Pruitt. That's got to be
when that was
best appointment.
When that was announced, I literally stood up in my home office and applauded.
Outstanding.
it's
I can get behind that, Shane.
I can't help but smile when I think of Trump appointing somebody who currently suing the EPA to head the EPA.
Who do you think is going to be the ones that are going to have the toughest ride getting through Congress?
Well, that would be one. Pruitt will have the long knives out after him. Yes.
Is General Mateus Bulldog, or what's his name?
Bulldog.
Mad Dog Mateus. Is he going to get waived on his 3 year and as opposed to the 7 years you have to be retired, or 5 years?
I think so, because I first of all, I think that 7 year limit, that 7 year basically retirement rule is ridiculous. He knows the Department of Defense. I think we lose good prospective candidate pool for the Secretary of Defense by, eliminating generals who haven't been
Well, hang on here.
who haven't been retired for 7 years.
Question here. Cabinet appointments are simple majorities, aren't they?
I believe so.
I mean,
Yes,
I
believe
I
so.
would think that if the Republicans will just hold the line, they're going to get these guys in place.
Well, I think I think Rex Tillerson could end up having a problem because not only are you going to have the left block, but Rex Tillerson's the Trump's pick for Secretary of State, but also social conservatives have some issues with him on different things he has done as CEO of ExxonMobil.
But speaking to Mad Dog, it would seem to me that a simple majority, is going to ensure that he gets in.
I don't see him not being confirmed.
But here's the question: Rand Paul is kind of tossed around some thoughts that maybe he's going to not play nice. And you got Lindsey Graham and John McCain out there who are both burnt and spurned from the campaign season. Are these guys going to hold the line, and are they going to play nice?
I don't see, because I see McCain and Graham. I don't see them pushing back. They tend to go with the flow. So to speak. I really don't see them causing waves when it comes to these
not with their own party.
Not
in this case.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. I think it would be easier for them to just go with the flow.
And then I think there is a wild card in this is a person like Joe Manchin of West Virginia who has come out and said he's going to jump on a couple of Trump's appointees and help run them through. So.
And Manchin tends to be more closer to a blue dog Democrat if those exist
if
anymore.
There's one left.
Yeah.
Let's do some more of these when we come back.
Yeah,
from the
definitely.
break.
Hey, stay tuned. Yes, more on Trump's appointments and the Trump transition. This is Max World Live. We'll be back in a moment.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi. My name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Oh, yeah! Ryan, outstanding. 1979.
Well, and I was 7 years old. Thank you for the...
Shut up, Vanderhart.
Hey, this is Shane Vanderhart. This is Max World Live. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. Call us at 515-244-0077 or text us on the Service Legend text line 515-809-0993, and that is brought to you by First Call Bail Bonds, who reminds you not to text and drive. That's a bad thing. It's also illegal in the state of Iowa. You don't want to get a ticket. So if you're going to text us, make sure you're not driving. Pull over. But we do want to hear from you. So give us a call. Text us. Be our friend. We're lonely.
And here's a text.
Here's a good.
This kind of goes back a little bit to last hour, but Mac mentioned fear for the new U.S. ambassador to Israel is because things he has said, like wanting to change the location to Jerusalem. Could you discuss what other things he believes in that could cause more turmoil, or expand on why this is something Palestinians and others fear?
Well, I'll try. I mean, I think as far as the controversial aspect of the Trump administration, this is probably the main thing. I've heard a number of names floated as far as who might end up being U.S. ambassador to Israel. Mike Huckabee has been mentioned, which, you know, I could definitely see that. Moving the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem would send a strong message to the Palestinians that, you know, we believe that Jerusalem should be the capital of Israel and not Tel Aviv. And East Jerusalem right now is divided up. You have East Jerusalem that's under Palestinian control. That would be very, very controversial because of all the different holy sites that are there. Nobody, you know, the Palestinians don't want to see Jerusalem, or the Israelis take complete control of Jerusalem because they fear they would lose their access to. I can't think of the name of the mosque they built on top of the Temple Mount.
That monstrous mosque with the gold dome.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it's called. Something with the gold dome.
Something gold dome on the rock or something.
Something like that. I mean, obviously, I think the Jewish people have a stronger claim to that location than Muslims do, but that's my opinion.
Well,
anyway,
all of that territory that's disputed right now, if you go back far enough, it was Jewish land.
I agree. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. And I mean, you go back to ancient Israel, it's been, it's definitely, it's been Jewish territory. And again, we talk about, we have a program on this tomorrow on Caffeinated Thoughts Radio where we talk about the UN resolution that the U.S. abstained from instead of vetoing.
William Jacobson will be on, and he'll be speaking to the historical and legal issues relative to territory in the Holy Land. So
now
it's worth listening.
Now, as far as something, Trump can want the embassy to be moved to Jerusalem, but the United States can't just decide that unilaterally. I mean, the Israelis have to be behind that as well.
Well, I think they would do it in a New York minute.
Okay,
probably.
Here's a text that says Trump already picked David M. Friedman for Israel embassy.
Okay. Like I'll have to. I don't know.
We'll have to take his word for it because
I have not. If that was announced today, I may have missed that.
Now, but it says for Israel embassy. Now that is that specifying ambassador?
I would assume so.
I don't know.
But who again?
David M. Friedman.
Okay. I missed that press release if that's the case, and I do get the Trump transition team press releases. So I don't know if that's accurate or not. I'm not going to say it's not. I may have missed it.
So I'll ask the texter to send in when was this appointment made?
Right. I mean, that could be. I'm also looking at the political list, and it's not something they mentioned, but of course they don't mention Governor Branstad's appointment to be the U.S. ambassador to China either. So they're probably not going to list all of those ambassadorships.
All right, let's keep going here, guys.
Oh, you want to keep moving?
Yes, I do.
We can't get bogged down.
A long list here.
Long list.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions. There's another one that made leftists' heads explode.
Right, but here the fact is, the U.S. Senate is not going to block a confirmation of one of their own.
I think Joe Manchin, that's one of the confirmations that Joe Manchin said he was going to push.
It's that whole racist business that's going to come up in the hearings, no question.
Okay, yeah, but I still don't see them tanking one.
Well, you got Maxine Waters, of course, not part of the Senate.
Right. Well, frankly, it doesn't matter what Maxine Waters thinks.
But do you think there will be those like her in the Senate who will fight everything?
Yeah, because I think you can have some that are going to be just say we're gonna try to go after every appointment, but frankly, they don't have the votes to. They have to be able to poll some Republicans, so they can appear they can be partisan. Ultimately, though, you have to the president should be able to get some of his nominees. Generally speaking, the Senate will at least pick one person they can say nope, we're going to reject just because we can.
Well, until Pruitt, this might have been where they was going to plant their flag.
And I think the left will definitely they will work to block Pruitt. I just don't see them pulling enough Republicans away to block Pruitt. I think with Rex Tillerson, that's probably the best opportunity they have
to strip Republican votes.
To have some Republicans come over their side. Betsy DeVos as education secretary, that could be possibly, but Republicans so far, what I've seen, seem to love her. Even though there's some anti-Common Core people that are vehemently opposed to her. Most Republicans, though, are looking at the school choice advocacy organizations that are 100% behind her. I just don't see Republicans blocking her nomination. So that's, even though I'm anti-Common Core, and she says she's anti-Common Core, but she never made a public statement until she was nominated. So, and she's been on the board of a couple groups that were pro-Common Core. So there's a big question mark.
What do you guys think of the idea that 2018 presents about 25 Senate seats are up for Democrats, and that some of these Democrats may decide to kind of play nice the first 2 years?
I think it depends what state they're in.
Well, in these states, particularly Trump.
Yeah, if Trump Trump
won.
The 25 that are up, there's as I recall, there's a majority of them that are in red states.
Yeah, that's the point.
I mean,
Democrats, I think, in the next couple of years, they're going to have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time. I'm looking here in Iowa, too. I don't think 2018 is going to be a good year for them either, at the state level or at the federal level. They're just right now. The trend seems to be toward the right.
Let me throw a monkey wrench in this on one point. If things really go badly, the first couple of years of Trump's administration,
well, that could upset the apple cart.
Absolutely. I mean, think, for example, if the economy would slip into recession.
Yeah.
I mean, that would. I'm not saying that would completely upset the apple cart, but that would make a big difference. If things go swimmingly for the first 2 years of the Trump administration, which I'm not anticipating, but if they did, these Democrats have absolutely no place to go.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see. Generally speaking, though, when it comes to midterms, tends to favor the party that's not in the White House.
Yep.
Not always, because George W. Bush had his first term had a couple good years. It was the second term where we saw Democrats starting to get some traction. So that could be the case with President-elect Trump as well. If he maintains his campaign pledges, if he addresses immigration, if he addresses trade, if he addresses what else? Obamacare. I think his approval rating could end up being very good, and I think that can help Republicans.
Did you see the thing on or it wasn't Facebook? It was Yahoo or one of the websites I was looking on today, saying that Obama is having a meeting with Democrats how to rescue Obamacare.
Yep.
Did any of you read that?
I didn't read it, but I saw it too, Frank. Does that? I mean, there's no surprise there. He is going to do everything in his power to save that program, because Shane's right. That's his legacy.
Yeah, if Obamacare goes, what did he actually accomplish? He could point to some Supreme Court decisions that were made while he was, in office, but he didn't really have anything to do with that. Because frankly, the appointments that he made to the Supreme Court replaced, moderate to liberal judges anyway, so it didn't really change the makeup of the court per se.
Well, there was the thought that come out that nationwide health care has always been the holy grail for the Democrats to find. Yep. And they said it was more Pelosi and some of the other leading Democrats that had been around for a while. Obama always wanted single-payer health care. Right. The government pick up the tab for everything, and it was Hillary who ran on the mandates.
Yes. And again, if Republicans do not, if they do not follow through and deal with Obamacare, I think midterms could end up being, hard for them. I think they have to follow through and deal with Obamacare. Whether it's I think the best thing would be a wholesale repeal, and then work with Democrats on some potential, middle ground things they could do to address healthcare concerns.
Well, I agree, Shane, that it's absolutely vital that the Republicans take on Obamacare. No question. Having said that, that is a path that is filled with IEDs and landmines of every kind. Well, and I'll tell you why. The American people now, they like the idea of being able to enroll with pre-existing conditions. They like the idea of being able to have, their children on their plan to age 26 or whatever it is.
And there might be some things, it may not be a wholesale repeal. It might be repeal and a replacement will include some of that.
Well, the difficulty is, especially with pre-existing conditions, to come up with a viable insurance plan, that's financially viable and still takes pre-existing conditions. It's very difficult to do, very expensive to do, and this could be a very, very difficult path for Republicans.
Don't you surmise that's why the perks were rolled out first, and
of course,
and the money raising mechanisms were pushed off. They've been pushed off 010, 012.
That's right. You nailed it, Frank. You nailed it, Frank. The way that thing was set up was to have the pain come later.
Right.
That's exactly the way it was set up.
So when people got their from 25 all the way up to 118% increases in their premiums, that's why a lot of these Democrats lost. It wasn't leaked emails.
That's a good point.
Yes, and again, Congress and President-elect Trump will have to be thoughtful in how they address Obamacare and how they repeal it. They have to do it right. They have to. So I'm not sure addressing it right away is necessarily the best thing, even though a lot of us would like to see it go quickly. I think they need to be thoughtful on how they do that and make sure they've got a lot of buy-in from those stakeholders.
The whole thing was just so deceptive and so it was just really, really insidious. But the whole business of the way they passed Obamacare with these ridiculous promises of savings of $2,500, per a family of four, if you want to keep your doctor, you can, and all the rest of it.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be right back in a moment.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs,
And I'm the service manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Down around the corner, half a mile from here.
Brian is the man.
You should put the camera on Brian, not on me. The less it's on me, the better. Brian really likes... Now, obviously, if you're listening to us on 99.3 FM, you aren't seeing what I'm seeing right now. If you're watching webcast1live.com, you're seeing Brian get in the Doobie Brothers.
He's jamming.
He's jamming. He does this to me all the time during our bumper music on Caffeinated Thoughts Radio. He'll play air guitar. I caught him on video a couple times and put it up on our Facebook page.
Listen, how often do we get to have Doobie Brothers, bumper music? This is awesome.
Well, we can start doing that. There's nothing keeping us from doing that.
It's a pain in the neck to do it the way we do it. This is easy,
I suppose. Anyway, hey, this is Shane Vanderhart. Got Brian Myers, of course,
and Faultless Frank Thomas.
Yes, we were talking about. We're going to wrap up our conversation about Trump's cabinet, and then get into the resolutions. Hey, I want to hear from you about not resolutions.
Predictions.
Predictions, thank you. 2017 predictions. Give us a call at 515-244-0077 or text us at 515-809-0993. That's the Service Legends Truth Text line, brought to you by First Call Bail Bonds, who reminds you not to text and drive.
But if you're in a jam, call Big Dan.
Call Big Dan, yes. Brian highly recommends them.
Ooh.
So anyway, Brian, cabinet. We got a couple different cabinet members you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 more here. Let's start off with HUD and Dr. Ben Carson.
Thumbs up. He's probably not the most experienced person, but I think he's going to be good.
Well, as we were talking during the break, which is a no-no.
We violated Mac's rule.
all these men are smart, intelligent men and women that Trump has put as nominees, and I believe they will all learn quickly on the job.
And Frank, I have to tell you this. I have been, generally speaking, so pleasantly surprised, not in every case, but in some of these crucial spots. Trump has exceeded my expectations as far as who he's got here as nominees to these cabinet positions. So I wanted to tell you that, Frank.
Oh, that's...
Now, having said that, let's talk about Ben Carson just a little bit. Ben Carson is a guy who, I agree with you, Frank, he's a sharp guy. I have profound respect for Ben Carson. I've never been able to quite figure Ben Carson out, though, because here's a guy, I remember during the campaign, this is a guy that I assumed would have a well-thought-out, easy-to-articulate position on life. And if you guys will remember during the campaign, he tripped over himself about as badly as you possibly could on the life issue.
And I think
I was stunned.
I think that's one reason why he lost the Iowa caucus.
Could very well be.
I think he could have been in the driver's seat for the Iowa caucus, but because of that, I mean, he fumbled it badly.
And then, just what was it, about a month ago, when asked about being a potential cabinet member, he made that remark about he wasn't qualified.
Yeah, he ran for president.
He ran for president.
Yeah. But hey, let's be honest. His presidential campaign was really about selling books.
Well, look, all I know is that, forgive me, Dr. Carson, that was just about the dumbest thing that I heard in the last couple of years. And we've heard some stupid stuff get said. But that one was right up there. And, of course, the left loved that. The Democrats loved that. They made hay over that. And I can't say as I blame them.
Well, you're trying to say something self-deprecating, and you're wanting others to pat you on the. You're not wanting to pat your own back.
I know, but when you have just run a presidential campaign, you cannot say, I've never done this before. I can't be qualified for a cabinet level position. Everybody's going to be saying you just stepped into the twilight zone. So anyway, I say all that to say I profoundly respect Ben Carson, and I think he probably will do a good job.
Right.
But occasionally he will say things like that, and you'll just scratch your head.
Well, and I would encourage Donald Trump to perhaps not make him the designated survivor. Have you guys seen that show? It was the HUD secretary that was a designated survivor, and he ended up becoming president. And I wanted to like that show. The guy was such a, oh gosh, how can I put it kindly? I can't. He was pansy.
He was a doofus.
A doofus. It's Kiefer Sutherland, which is like, why did you make this guy so mealy mouthed? Yeah. I mean, that's not Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, he was on 24.
Yeah.
He should be tough.
He was looking for a change in role.
Well, he got it.
Yeah,
Would you guys agree there's a clear difference between a micromanager and someone who is a good delegator? And I'm guessing that Carson is probably more of a delegator, and he's been in a team environment where they've worked together on these surgeries to separate twins and etc. And you're kind of a team player in that setting as opposed to being the star. And I think that's
he does have some administrative experience in the medical field. He does.
Yeah, he headed the department that he worked in. So I don't want to say he doesn't have any administrative experience. We'll see how he leads.
All right.
I hope he is a delegator.
Real quickly, over at Health and Human Services,
Tom Price. Great pick.
Great pick. Real conservative guy. Another one simply because he's a conservative may take some heat during confirmation.
I heard some thoughts that he'll breeze through confirmation.
Really? Okay.
So, he's thought pretty highly of among certain Democrats.
Right.
Oh, good. Good.
Right. So, Commerce Secretary, we already mentioned, Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin. Okay. Trump people, you guys got after Ted Cruz because of his wife being involved with Goldman Sachs. You need to really apologize
That ain't going to happen.
For what you said.
I don't think it's any possibility to get away from Goldman Sachs.
I'm thinking it seems like everybody who's experienced in the financial world has had some
left
connection.
or right.
Well, Shane and I were talking about this off the air about Treasury and Commerce. These are positions that you have to put guys in there that have a high level of knowledge and experience in the financial world. So typically, where do you get that? You get it off Wall Street.
Right.
And that's where both of these guys are from.
Have you heard how many of these individuals are not going to take a salary? I've heard Tillerson's not going to take a salary.
I hope
Trump's
his commerce guy is a billionaire. I hope he doesn't.
Well, the point being is
well, if they want to take a salary and then just donate it, that's fine. Frankly, them not taking a salary is not going to save taxpayers.
No, but it's the idea. It's the idea that to get away from the thought that these guys are in there to rob the till, that they're coming in there because they love the country and they want to see the country succeed.
Well, considering, I mean, I don't know how many. He's got a couple billionaires and several, millionaires on his cabinet. Nobody's doing it for the money.
Right.
They may be doing it for the power.
Well, here's the thing, though. What the left will say, and this is perhaps a legitimate criticism, the left will say these guys will set up a financial system just like Bernie Sanders said they have been, and perpetuate a financial system which will continue to line the pockets of these guys and their pals. I mean, that's a legitimate criticism. I'm not saying that they're absolutely doing it. I'm just saying that it's a criticism that exists that has some plausibility to it.
Yeah, I would love to see Trump address crony capitalism. I'm not going to hold my breath that he's going to do that.
No,
because he's benefited from crony capitalism.
He's going to do that just about as quickly as he's going to apologize to Ted Cruz over the Goldman Sachs thing.
Right.
I mean, one thing we know about the Donald, and forgive me, Frank, but the Donald is quite happy to contradict himself when it suits him.
Right.
And he is not going to apologize for doing it. It's who he is.
Well, speaking of Ted Cruz. Does anyone think there's a potential that Ted Cruz would accept a Supreme Court nomination?
Maybe if he thought he was going to get confirmed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I think there might be enough bad blood in the Senate against him that he may not get confirmed.
I think Shane is right. He has not gotten away, not played well in the sandbox.
Yeah. Hey, coming up next, we're going to talk about 2017 predictions. Stay tuned.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Oh, and we're wrapping up the entire hour of Doobie Brothers.
Summer of 1976. Doobie Brothers.
Hey, this is Max World Live. We're going to discuss 2017 predictions. Give us a call, 515-244-0077. You have to keep them very brief if you do call. We want to hear from you what your prediction would be. Also, you can text us on Service Legends text line at 515-809-0993, and that is brought to you by First Call Bail Bonds, who reminds you not to text and drive. So,
this was the first hit by the Doobies in which Michael McDonald was featured. Just want you to know
that's exciting. Thank you for that. I can now
taking it to the streets.
Yep.
Now sleep comfortably at night, knowing that.
Joe Carter at the Acton Institute Power Blog. He came up with a list of 14 can't miss predictions for 2017. Not going to read all of those, but I wanted to read at least one of them here. He said, a bipartisan coalition of Democrats and Republicans agree to filibuster a proposed bill only discovered that Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse was not introducing new legislation, but merely reading the text of the U.S. Constitution. We have a caller. Hey, you've called Max World Live. This is Shane.
Shane, this is Russ. I'm on the air right now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I didn't hear anything. I'd like to see Trump or his administration as a attorney general or somebody go after Clinton, Hillary about those emails. Otherwise, he's sending a message that these politicians are above reproach. And if Hillary was a Republican, the new Democratic presidential elect would go after him like crazy. The Democrats have always done that, and I think the Republicans ought to return the favor.
You think Trump will do that?
Huh?
Do you think he'll do that? He seems to indicate he's not.
He can. It's not up to him. I don't think he can direct it one way or the other, possibly. But I think if he doesn't, I'm going to hold him to the fire to that.
Okay, so maybe we'll have Hillary for prison 2017.
But the problem is, Russ, will Obama pardon her before he leaves office?
That is a question.
That's the question. So it may be a moot point.
And that could be
under the Trump administration.
That could be his last lame duck action.
Can he pardon her for even though?
Yes.
Yes.
He can pardon her even though she hasn't been indicted.
Yes, Gerald Ford did it for Richard Nixon. There's precedent for it.
A lot of people say, though, that she wouldn't want the stigma, that there would be a certain amount of guilt that would be associated with a pardon, and she's not going to want to ever acknowledge guilt for anything.
Could be. Well, hey, Russ, thanks for your call. We got to move on. Hey,
I tell you what, we don't need to worry about it because Trump is not going to do this. And I think if he tells whoever his AG is, if he tells his AG not to pursue it, that's it. Game over. Hillary will ride off into the sunset.
But they have not shut down the official, as far as I know, the official FBI investigation on the, the
foundation.
Global Foundation Initiative, whatever. So that's still an open investigation.
Right.
If there's some recommendations down the road for that,
I'm just not going to hold my breath.
If the Justice Department tells the FBI to round file that whole thing, they will.
So, Brian, you had a prediction written down.
Oh, well, I had several, actually. I've already kind of made this prediction. I made it long term, but I'll make it short term as well. I think both my friends on the left, who are looking for their safe spaces and wearing their safety pins, and then also my friends on the right who figure that we're going to, like Frank here, who thinks we're going to go out and drain the swamp. I think that both of them are going to be shown very soon just how poor their assumptions were about Trump. I don't think anything terrible is going to happen to the left. I don't think that necessarily from the right that we're going to be all that thrilled with what happens either.
No, I'm not. I don't think the sky is going to fall. I didn't think the sky was going to fall if Hillary Clinton won. I'm fully anticipating not liking everything that President-elect Trump will do. So far, Other than I'm not happy with the Tillerson appointment. I think he could have put somebody else that was better in.
No,
in
but
there,
my point is that all of the guys that thought Trump was going to turn Washington upside down or blow it up, look, I'm hopeful that there's going to be some positive things happen. But if the swamp really going to get drained, I don't think so.
But
no,
don't you think
either.
that's why Reince Priebus and some of the establishment, that's coming from? I mean, I think Trump would like to turn things more upside down than people think. But when you get these voices in there from the establishment like Priebus, they're going to try to temper that a little bit.
Possibly. Another prediction from Joe Carter: Iraq will officially change the country's name back to Babylon in a successful attempt to freak out premillennial dispensational evangelicals. I think that'll happen. I think that's going to happen. No.
Not.
Donald Trump will copyright Make America Great Again. I think he probably has already. I'd be shocked if he hasn't.
He's probably making money on those red hats.
And we'll use the proceeds from royalty payments to reduce the fiscal year 2017 budget deficit. You guys have any other predictions?
I'm going to have to predict that the Republicans, even though they don't want to, because Mitch McConnell, when he came in, promised to return Senate to regular order, I think they're going to have to use the nuclear option to get through some of their Supreme Court nominees, and they're going to have to play hardball with the Democrats, and they're going to have to show them that the can that Harry Reid opened up that Joe Biden said a long time ago, don't do, because we won't be in power forever.
This is a long prediction.
I believe that we'll have to open up.
Well, I tell you what, that's actually one, I've got 2 or 3 more predictions here. That was actually one of them that I was going to make, which is that the Republicans in the Senate will refuse to use the nuclear option. I don't see him doing it.
I don't see him doing it either.
I'm hopeful that Frank's right and they'll do it, but I don't see it.
I got one more I want to read. Twitter will, this is again from Joe Carter. I don't have any of my own. I don't make predictions. Twitter will join with Geico to sell an insurance policy that provides a year's worth of income if you're fired because of something you posted on Twitter. I think that's an awesome idea. I hope that happens.
Did Joe write all these?
Yeah.
What do you guys predict for percentage of job growth in 2017?
Oh, gosh. Hopefully something better than what we've seen.
What are we, like 2% now?
Anything will be better.
Well, no, actually, it's higher than that right now.
I think it's like 4%, isn't it?
It's a little less.
A little less. So I'm hoping maybe 6%, 8%, 10%.
Now, the question is what kind of jobs? Are they part-time? Or are they minimum wage? What are they? And that's what we've been reporting for 8 years.
So anyway, I think we're going to see, definitely an increase in job growth. I'm not entirely happy with the way Trump has gone about keeping some of the companies, in the United States, but I think that helps at least not lose jobs. So that's helpful. Hopefully some of his trade policies will help spur on job growth.
We've got somebody that's not going to be hostile to business.
And that'll help.
Will he cut the deal to bring the offshore money back onshore, the $2 to $6 trillion?
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, hey, everybody. I just, on behalf of Max World Live, would like to wish you and yours a very happy new year.
And have a great weekend.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be able to host this show. This is Max World Live. We'll see you next week.